Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net, here with another video for you. Going to do a short series here called Youth Meeting 101. Now I say it's going to be short, but it could be 6, 7 little lessons here about the actual youth meeting and putting your youth meeting together. But calling this Youth Meeting 101, we have to know and understand that, first of all, that every meeting has a meaning, right? Every meeting we have has or should have some kind of goal to it. In other words, why are we meeting here? What is the point of tonight's gathering? What is your goal, right? You have to ask yourself, well, what is the goal of tonight? Maybe is it an evangelism night? You know, is it a night where you're going to do a big outreach, or you're going to be a game night or something like that? Is it going to be discipleship driven? In other words, it's going to be a lot of teaching, or maybe you're going to start a teaching series. Maybe it's a worship night where you're going to have communion and confession and other things that are going on that you're going to figure out. Maybe you're going to have extended, song time or whatever that may look like for you. You may actually have to have a come to Jesus meeting, and that's usually a come to Jesus meeting is where you're having a very much in-house meeting with your students to say, listen, we got to talk about something. And it could be something that's going on in your youth ministry. It could be something that's going on. I don't know what that looks like for you, but I've had to have a couple of those where I've had to really, talk real talk and share some hard things sometimes. So you have to then establish what is the meaning of my meeting, right? So you also want to, when you're designing your meeting, you are actually asking, saying, look, what do I need to keep in mind, right? I need to keep the end in mind, right? I need to plan my meeting with the end in mind. You're going to ask and say, well, by the end of this meeting, what do I want my kids to think? What do I want them to feel? And then what do I want them to do, right? What are those things? What are those end results that you're looking for? So I'll give you an example. If you're looking at an outreach night, well, I'm looking for my students to bring kids, right? I want them to bring their friends, people who don't know Christ, and that my role in that night is to make sure that I put forth a gospel message, that whether I do it or somebody else does it, but basically I'm going to put a call forth to know Christ, and I'm going to present the best gospel message I can share. Maybe it's a discipleship night, right? And I'm going to say, okay, we're going to do a teaching series, whatever it is. But the question is, what exactly do I want my kids to learn? And how do I know if they learn it? So if it's a core teaching night, then that's what I want. There's some things that I want to, at the end of that night, I want to make sure that there's some sort of feedback, or that they understand what I'm saying, that they understand the validity or the necessity of what I'm teaching and why that's important to their lives. If it's a worship night, I'm asking, how do we best glorify God together? What does that look like? You say, Paul, is it every meeting a worship night? Not necessarily. A lot of attention, is pointed in other directions, right? But sometimes there needs to be just a worship night. And that worship night, like I said, may involve communion. It may involve confession. It may involve some other aspect, right? Prayer stations. Lots of time at the altar, maybe. I don't know what that looks like for you, but worship is totally God-focused. It's totally getting kids' attention on who Jesus is, who God is, and why he is worthy of our worship. And then the last one, if you're going to have a come to Jesus meeting, you're going to talk hard truth, right? The part of that, by the end of the night, you want to say, okay, can we all resolve this? What can we agree upon, right? The question is, what can we agree upon? How do we reach some sort of resolution? We don't want to just go in there, and I'm guilty of that. I don't know if you are, but where you say, well, I'm just going to say what I want to say, and no matter what happens, I'm going to get this off my chest. And you know what? The bottom line is, you can do that, but I don't think that reaches the end point of where you want to get, because you got to meet with your students again. They're going to walk out of there. They're either going to walk out of there encouraged, felt like that you heard them, or they're going to walk out discouraged, and they're going to feel like, my youth pastor's mad at me. So you're going to have to then say, well, how am I going to do this? And the end in mind is that we may not all agree, but we can agree to disagree, that everything we did tonight was done in love, And we can't use, the night just to get things off our chest. We have to use the night and use that meeting time to say, okay, well, how do we reach some sort of resolution with this, even if everybody doesn't agree with that? So, but that is lesson number 1 here in what I'm calling Youth Meeting 101. I would like to hear your questions. Maybe you have some thoughts or ideas and questions. You say, well, how do I design my meeting? I'm having a struggle with focusing on what I want to do and how to schedule or how to do those things. Leave your comments down below. This is a perfect time to ask your questions about the youth meeting itself, because I'm going to be answering those questions. And so be sure to do that. Also, if you're brand spanking new, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys being a part of this time together. If you're like I said, if you're new and you're not subscribed to this channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. It is a great opportunity to do so. Be part of this community. Be sure to hit the little bell down below, by the way, that will hit the little subscribe button in there. That way you'll be notified when I upload videos. Also, if you're a regular, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being a part of the channel here and always commenting and asking questions, all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, be sure to ask your questions. Leave a comment down below and tell me what is your big question that's bugging you about your youth meeting. So, all right, that's it for today, guys. I will catch you guys in the next video. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.